If it came down to it, I have to do what I have to do to get by. But here is an important thing to start thinking when it comes to the necessary evil of juggling multiple responsibilities. Have a plan. Have a timeline. Do not allow juggling multiple things, multiple responsibilities, spinning multiple plates to be the controlling factor of what you're doing. Have your plan control when, how much, and if you're going to multitask. The second scenario involves spinning fewer plates. Instead of juggling 15 things, you're handling 5 or 6. So much easier. You are doing well. You're switching from one function to the other, and you're keeping up with the plates much more than you could if you had 15 of them. So the problem here is no longer the quality of your work, no longer the quality of the work you're putting into each plate, into each function. What ends up hurting you in this case is stamina. After a while, it becomes harder and harder to get to each plate in time. So in the first scenario, it had you overwhelmed from the beginning. 15 plates were just too much. In the second one, you seem to be well. So you get used to where you are. You think everything is okay. But what happens when your stamina runs out? At one point or another, you won't be able to go back and forth from one plate to the other, from one function to the other. What happens then? What happens when your stamina runs out? If I was to toss up a coin in the air, what would be my choices? Should I say heads? No, tails. Wait, maybe heads. Okay, definitely tails. What if, as the coin landed, the outcome was neither heads nor tails? What if by some strange chain of events, the coin decided not to fall on either side? Normally we would pick it up and toss it up again, but why? Why not accept the third possibility? Why not embrace the third side of the coin? Both sides seem so definite, so set in stone. Heads, it's always so sure of itself, and it will never even look at what tails has to offer. Tails feels absolutely no need to examine what heads has to say. However, the third side looks at both heads and tail, examines both, and realizes that its position is more challenging. It requires more work, and that few tosses will result with the third outcome. But yet it understands that it is exactly where it should remain. Balanced, standing between heads and tails, unwavering at the attempts to be dragged to either side and tempted to no longer maintain its own personality. Balanced, standing, it is where the third side belongs. The coin represents us, human beings, creatures with the ability to make rational choices. Choices that require a thought process that incorporates instincts, emotions, logic, and an evaluation of possible outcomes. We must admit that no animal in the world is so complex when it comes to the business of making choices. When an animal has to make a choice, he has one goal and one goal only. And that is what keeps me alive. Survival. It is instinctual. We, on the other hand, have a large gamut of factors to evaluate, both consciously and subconsciously, which all of those factors will ultimately determine our selection. Therefore, as coins, we are being tossed up. We're being tossed up in the air by the circumstances in our lives. Different forces are pulling us in one direction or another and trying to influence the outcome of our decisions. The only difference between a real coin and us is the fact that the coin has no real control of the outcome, but we do. The focus of this part of the workshop will be this little wagon. This wagon being pulled by 4 horses will enlighten us on the subject of team cohesion. Consider this wagon your business. And the horses are the forces that move your business forward. You choose what you'd like to label these horses. Let's say you have human resources, you have the production department, you have finance department, or you have customer service pulling your business forward. We're not going to waste time with a scenario where the horses are pulling in 4 different directions. It is very obvious that the strongest horse will pull things its way, and that things wouldn't be efficient at all if you had the horses pulling on all 4 sides, and just takes away from the efficiency of the team. So let's consider cohesion as the horses pull in the same direction. After a quick look, you may gather that they're going in the right direction, making the most of the team potential. But we must consider geometry's simple rule of parallel lines. And for the dear mathematicians in the audience, please forgive my paraphrasing. But if the trajectory is truly parallel, 2 lines will never intersect, nor will they increase the distance from each other. Any slight difference in the trajectory between the horses will impact how efficient their movement toward the goal truly is. In our original illustration, right here, we see that short-term goals may still be accomplished easily despite the slight deviation. However, look what happens when this deviation goes unchecked for a long time. And cohesion is being wasted as it's overlooked. Some of the horses will completely miss the mark. While you were so sure everyone was concentrating all their efforts at the same bullseye, that slight deviation caused a major impact to the original vision. Your team seems to be working together, pulling the wagon in the same direction, but a lot of energy, a lot of efficiency, a lot of potential is being wasted as cohesion is overlooked. If a team is working together cohesively, each department maintains its trajectory perfectly parallel to each other. But that doesn't happen by chance. It takes a purposeful effort. It is like tying our horses to each other with a wagon harness. Workshops like this one and other efforts that increase our communication between all parties involved in pulling this wagon that we call our business, are the harnesses that keep us moving side by side perfectly. The next activities we'll tackle, they will help us identify deviations. They will help us name what we actually consider the bullseye. And they will help us move towards improved team cohesion.